What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with my Week 5 running back rankings, half-point PPR as always. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to bring that fantasy football championship home, beat all your friends and family, and just let them know that you are better than them. Hit that subscribe button, drop weekly rankings, waiver wire videos, buy lows, sell highs, fantasy football takeaways, rest of season rankings potentially coming out sometime soon. So stick around for all that good content that will help you win fantasy football games and titles. Hit that like button, and if you have any questions or comments, I respond to all of them. So if you need any fantasy football advice, let me know in the comment section down below. It really helps out the video, and I really appreciate it. Without further ado, though, let's talk running backs. So, number one, he's in tier to himself. He's been number one for a while. He's playing a tough defense, and I don't care. Christian McCaffrey against Dallas. He scored 4 touchdowns last week. He's just been phenomenal for fantasy, just all over. Had 100 yards rushing last week, over 70 yards receiving. He's just phenomenal, Christian McCaffrey. 2, Bijan Robinson. I think the touchdowns will start to come for him eventually. And honestly, this is a guy, if you can go out there, he was in my buy low series just because it's obvious, I feel like, and it's tough to get him. But if you can go out there, I think I'd be offering a really high trade offer for him. You know, if I have another one of these backs, even if I could take Saquon in a piece and acquire Bijan, I think I would do it, get away from that Giants offense, and get the guy who I think the touchdowns will come for him, and then he's just going to be the dynamite fantasy football running back. I don't think he's on the same tier as Christian McCaffrey, but I think that he's in that next tier, which is currently him, and I think I would put Tony Pollard third right now. There, that's rest of season rankings. Let's talk about Week 5. Number 3, I've got Josh Jacobs against Green Bay. He's going to get a ton of volume. He's in my buy low series. You guys should be buying low on Josh Jacobs. 4, Saquon Barkley. I think he's going to come back and be heavily utilized against Miami, especially in the passing game. 5, Tony Pollard. He plays San Francisco. Tougher matchup for him, but he didn't play this whole fourth quarter last week basically because they were destroying their opponent. Even though it's a tougher matchup, I'm not completely out on Pollard. Number 6, David Montgomery. You might be surprised he's so high, but they play Carolina, which is a great matchup. They will likely win, and if that happens, that means that Montgomery's getting a ton of work in the second half, a ton of goal line opportunity as well for him on a weekly basis. Number 7, Derrick Henry. He plays Indy this week. Henry has gotten a ton of volume in their wins. I think this is going to be a very close contest, but one I think they could pull out. So I think I'm starting Henry with confidence. If you can ship him out this week if you're looking to, I don't think it's the worst decision you can make, although I do think he's going to have his games. I think his lows will be low and his highs will be high, if that makes sense. Number 8, Brian Robinson Jr. He plays Chicago. This is a great matchup for him. He's an absolute smash play. If you have Brian Robinson Jr., play him. It's a mistake not to. 9, Kyron Williams. He plays Philly. Tough matchup for him, but he has been the guy there for the Rams. You're rolling him out there. Joe Mixon, talk about just elite usage that he's received so far this year. Obviously, the offense around him and him in general has been disappointing for fantasy football, but stay around, especially for Joe Mixon. He's going to get that usage. He's going to catch passes. He's playing tons of snaps. He's going to be the goal line guy. Against Arizona, it's not a great matchup, but it's not awful by any means, so you're still playing him. 11, DeAndre Swift. He plays the Rams this upcoming week. He's looked phenomenal for fantasy football in recent weeks. I just don't see them taking him off the field. I'm not scared away from this Rams matchup. 12, Travis Etienne. It might be a little lower than you're used to seeing him. Honestly, I want to put him higher just because it's a tough matchup for him against Buffalo. That's why he's a little lower, but he has that burst, that potential to make his whole fantasy day on one play, which is what you like in these tough matchups, that Ken Walker level ability. But yeah, you're still playing Travis Etienne. 13, James Conner. I think this is a game the Cardinals could win against Cincinnati. He's been really good for fantasy football, involved in all phases. You're playing him. Isaiah Pacheco looked awesome the other day. Tough matchup on paper against Minnesota for running backs, but I'm not really scared away from them, especially I think there's a good chance Kansas City could have a positive game script in the second half, although I said this would be a high-scoring football game. 15, James Cook against Jacksonville. He's been phenomenal this year. Just hasn't got a ton of touchdown opportunity. Had the running touchdown last week. Don't expect tons of touchdowns for him, but I think he'll make his own explosive plays, and he's just been great utilization and yardage-wise and efficiency-wise so far besides that. 16, Aaron Jones. I think he will be more utilized this week. Long layoff after that Thursday night extra rest. Plays Vegas. Great matchup. You're playing him. Alvin Kamara. 13 receptions last week. Super heavily utilized. Obviously broke a record for low efficiency on that amount of receptions. But against New England, you're still playing him. And it was just a tough matchup for him against Tampa last week. Devon Achane plays the Giants. You're playing him. You're playing Mostert as well. Obviously, Achane's just been, I think people are getting used. I think he's a stud, but I think people are getting used to, 10 and running in one, he's good for that or something like that, there's a real chance you play him and you get 10 for 60 or something like that. Well within the realm of possibility, but he's just too talented to keep from starting. But just keep that in mind when you're starting him. 20, Ramondre Stevenson. He plays New Orleans. It's a tough matchup. But the way he's utilized and the talent he is, I'm still playing Ramondre. And brighter days are going to be ahead. I know I've been saying that for a few weeks, but I told you guys the matchups were tough, and he'll get past it. Breece Hall, he plays Denver this upcoming week. I think you can play him. Denver's absolutely horrendous against running backs, and that Jets offense looked much improved last week against Kansas City. Hopefully it's not a one-week thing. 22, Alexander Madison, he plays Kansas City. Could see him catching 5 passes in the second half pretty easily, 5 passes overall pretty easily, and potentially 5 passes in the second half alone. So you're playing him. Jonathan Taylor, he plays Tennessee. I think he plays. I don't love playing him either way. Not a great matchup, but if he plays, you're probably playing him for fantasy football. I'd say it's 60-40 that he plays right now. Jahmyr Gibbs, he plays Carolina. Obviously, hasn't been what you hoped for, but he's still being utilized, still getting some touches, and in a good matchup, you can play him. 25, Dameon Pierce, kind of a tougher matchup for him on paper against Atlanta, but I think there are brighter days ahead for him than we've seen so far. The offense looks much better than we anticipated as well. Miles Sanders plays Detroit. Not super high on Miles Sanders. Would try to move on from him if I could, but you can roll him out there. He's catching enough passes. 27, Justice Hill. I think he'll probably be the guy I would pick in this game. It's a good matchup, so I think you can take the shot on him, and he's an explosive player. Jaylen Warren plays Baltimore this week. He's looked good. He's getting used in that passing game as well. So I think you can roll him out there. Tyler Algier, I think he'll get some carries in this game against Houston. Could potentially do something with him. With the running backs right now, you're just getting desperate on buys. And Najee plays Baltimore. Had over 100 yards from scrimmage last week. That's something to hang your hat on, but not super excited about him and just this offense in general with where they're at right now. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.